Big things happening in the NBA with the Thunder as the new champions, the draft just finishing up, and what kind of headlines are the Nuggets shaking up? You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler here for another take of Nuggets basketball. I know it's been a while. It's been before the finals happened, but here I am, back again. I think it was at least last week that I was on, and now I'm back on this week, probably only for one episode, and then I'll get things together again to come back on, hopefully again next week. But, we're getting at it. There's not as much happening now. Now the Nuggets aren't playing every other day or every day. There's not as much to talk about these days. But tonight there is a lot of stuff to talk about. So the Thunder won the 2025 NBA championship, if you haven't already known. If you didn't, you must have been living under a rock. And welcome back to reality, because it's a horrible reality now that all of us, except for OKC and the Knicks, are living in right now as the Thunder are champions. But it was unfortunate the way that they won, with Haliburton going down after just scoring 9 points off of 3 consecutive threes. Now the Thunder's chip will forever be tainted in that they were able to defeat a fully healthy Nuggets or a fully healthy Pacers. Had Hallie been healthy, we would have seen a completely different champion. If the AG was healthy, we would have seen a completely different champion. But unfortunately for everyone in the league, except for OKC, and as I said, the Knicks, because the Knicks made it very clear they did not want the Pacers to win. A lot of Knicks fans hated the Pacers so much so that they prefer OKC, and they kind of started to cheer on OKC as if they were OKC fans all along. And it broke my heart because I love the Knicks and I want to cheer for them. But man, when they root against the Thunder, that just really got me. And so they all are now sitting with the Thunder, raising the Larry O'Brien trophy. And man, that sucked. Gotta say, it sucked. I'm still not okay with it. But we have other things happening, and I'm keeping the thought that at least it wasn't the Celtics or the Lakers winning. So we do win in a sense of that way. And granted, the OKC haven't won a single championship in the 17 years that they've been a franchise. I am not counting them. Once again, I'm saying it again. They are not the Supersonics. So I will not give them any credit for anything the Supersonics did. The Supersonics are 100% Seattle's team and will forever be Seattle's team. And when Adam Silver gets off his butt and actually does something productive and brings them back like he should, then OKC does not have any right to their history. That is 100% Seattle's. So, but 17 years and already they're champions. That's quite a feat to have accomplished, especially when you buy it. The Nuggets took 47 years to win their first championship. The Lakers or the Clippers still haven't won a championship, same as the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are the oldest team in the NBA, and they have never won a single championship. So, to come in with 17 years only under your belt and win one, props to you guys. I mean, even the Hornets have never won anything. Pelicans have never won anything. SAC won, before the 80s, so it doesn't really count, but they have won some. The Timberwolves haven't won anything. Pacers haven't won anything. And so I was really hoping that they would finally win one. And dang it, that damn ACL had to get blown out for Hallie. I mean, I feel bad for him. It was really awful to see him go down and to see him cry and everything. Like, I get it, man. You worked so hard to get to the final game, and your leg blows out on you. Heartbreaker. But as I said, lots of stuff happening. So we move on and we focus on other stuff. So next, I wanted to dive into the draft first before I get into the Nuggets headlines. We all saw Cooper Flagg being drafted by Dallas. And once again, that was no surprise. And if it was a surprise to you, you really got to get out from under that rock. That rock is not doing you any service. You got to get out from it because there is big things happening and you are not listening to it. So Cooper Flagg was drafted by the Mavericks as part of the conspiracy theory that it was planned all along, and that's why they got rid of Luka so they could get that first pick and get Cooper Flagg. I gotta say I am believing of that conspiracy theory. It sounds very viable because same thing more or less happened with the Cavs when they drafted LeBron. So it makes sense. It makes sense, and they're trying to win back the fans. And if you are a Mavs fan, I hope you are not baited by this tactic. Still remember that you guys were wronged, and Luka was taken away from you, and that. But we move on. So that was no surprise, and the bigger surprise would have been had they not picked Cooper Flagg. That would have been a bigger surprise, honestly. I think we all would have been very surprised. Like, what? You didn't pick Cooper Flagg? But they did. And now everyone's saying that they're going to be the super team next season. I'm actually okay with them saying that the Mavs are going to be the super team next season because it rules. It's better than the latter of them saying that OKC is a dynasty now, which they say every year after the championship. They've said it with the Bucks. They said it with the Nuggets. They said it with the Celtics last year. Every year, the media just is gripping or clawing for a dynasty again, even though the CBA is specifically put in place to prevent dynasties from happening, which is why the Nuggets got the raw end of the deal, because it got put into place right when we got at our best. So, the media saying that OKC is a dynasty, I would love to not hear that anymore. So if you want to say that the next big thing is the Mavs, go ahead. Go ahead and do it. I don't believe it at all because, as we all know, AD is going to get hurt next season. He will get hurt and he will be out for some period of time. You got Kyrie not coming back until January. So when he comes back, he will not be 100%. As we've already seen with Jamal, it took a little bit of time when he came back. They did not win that next season. He had to play the next following season for him to really get back into it. And even then, he still wasn't great. It wasn't until the actual playoffs of the 2023 chip that he did amazing. So, I don't see the Mavs being a dominant force next season. They might be fairly good, but I don't see them being dominant, as the media would love to float that to you. But the actual surprise, I should say, was the Jazz drafting Ace Bailey, who was not happy about being drafted by the Jazz. And he was not alone, because there was other players who were unhappy of the team drafting them. The another one that I know of was Colin Murray Boyles, also had a negative reaction. And Ace Bailey was a little bit more reserved, I will say. He was not smiling, and in fact, he wasn't having any emotion. He was pretty emotionless the entire time, but it has now come out that he was not happy with that selection, and he didn't want to go to the Jazz. But the bigger issue that I have is more with Colin Murray Boyles, who, after being drafted by the Toronto Raptors, stood up, shook his head, and then mouthed the word fuck. In disappointment fuck. Not like fuck yeah, it was fuck. And I have never seen an NBA class this physically loud with their disappointment on not getting the team they wanted. It's pure entitlement. Like, who are you to be upset with not getting the team that you wanted? You're lucky to be even chosen. You got chosen to play basketball at the professional level and get paid millions to do it when there are so many others that didn't get the chance. That is so disrespectful. And I hope the league humbles both of them. All of the players that had negative reactions, I hope they're humbled for displaying their disappointment. I'm pretty sure that there are other, players that had some kind of disappointment internally, but they kept it internally because you're not him. When you get drafted, you are not him yet. You got to prove it. And it's a lot easier to prove it in a team that's rebuilding than one that's already showing signs of success or that has an all-star on their team. Like, does Ace Bailey honestly think that if he's on a better team like the Rockets or Lakers, that he's even touching the ball? Dude would be on the bench 99% of the time. Even if Ace went to the Pelicans, do you think Zion is passing him the ball? No. That was crazy to watch. And also disappointing to see was that the Nuggets made 0 moves during this draft. Like, I mean, we're getting used to it as Nuggets fans. We're getting used to them making no movement at all. They didn't make any movement during the trade deadline. They didn't make any movement really last season. They made barely any movements. They made a couple, and the best one that they made was bringing Brody in, but short of that, I mean, you got rid of our key defender, KCP, and luckily, Brody, he was good for his energy was exactly what the Nuggets needed, but you also brought in a dud in Dario Saric, and now we all want him off the team, like, quickly, and still have not seen any news of this happening. But you could say that no movement by the Nuggets was because before the draft, there was some comments said by the Nuggets president, Josh Kroenke, that was in a response to a question asked of him about the future of the Nuggets and making the right moves. It was crazy that the media takes whatever they can and runs with it. This was super annoying to see. Apparently, Monica of ESPN's First Take is a huge Nuggets troll, and she's making it very loud right now, that is focused on nothing but negativity when something happens with regarding the Nuggets. And she has taken the words Josh said completely out of context, and even though it has been corrected several times, she has still continued to push the issue as if it was said the way that she wants it to have said. What was said, I don't even really want to re-say because I don't want it to put it out into the universe. I don't want any, I don't think the Nuggets Nation deserves that kind of bad juju. But I will say that there is absolutely no scenario where this unforgivable act happens. The Kroenkes, for all their stinginess, would never let it happen. I hope anyone who is watching my podcast right now who would consider them doing this or think that they would do this to know they would never, ever do this. Like, even like world's ending, you got to choose. They're not doing it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out anything that's on ESPN, obviously, or even the Nuggets page. They have it up there as well. DNVR has it up there. I mean, all the other Nuggets podcasts are talking about it, and they're actually saying it, and they're putting it out there, and I really hate that they are, because I am trying zero to put it out there. That's why I'm not even saying what happened. You got to watch it on somewhere else. I'm not going to say it. But the thing that is being overlooked is the relationship the Nuggets and MV3 have. And to think that MV3 would get disrespected by the comments is not giving him enough credit. He understands what Kroenke meant. He understands the business. In no way would he have taken it a threat. He has been a Nugget fan since he was a kid, as we have seen with the sweatshirt he wore as a child. The Nuggets drafted him. He was the MV3 because of the Nuggets. and the Nuggets are valid because of him. They have a championship because of him, and they are perfectly aware of all of that. Okay? Was it stupid to say? Absolutely. Absolutely, it was stupid. It was so stupid to say. He didn't need to say that. With how superstitious sports fans can be, he should have known better than to utter anything close to what was said. But the main thing is, he didn't mean it the way ESPN would love to have you believe it. The other big news, though, was that the Nuggets finally picked a GM. Or they didn't, or they picked two. Apparently, they picked two guys to split the job of one GM. As what was expected, one of those men was Ben Tenser. The other was Jonathan Wallace from the Timberwolves. So if disagreements between two guys in the GM and the head coach wasn't enough, now they throw in a third guy. I got to be honest, I was not excited about this move. I was very hopeful that during the press conference, Kroenke would have announced like one GM, and it would have been someone that, would have made a lot of moves. That would have been like almost like, I didn't think Bob Myers was on the table, although if he had been chosen, it would have been fun to watch, I think, at least, him or Tim Connelly, if they would have been able to get Tim Connelly back, but they weren't. And so I was a little disappointed. I can only hope that the Kroenkes are saving money to get help for Jokić. That's my, the only takeaway from this is that I just really hope that they're going to take the money that they're saving by splitting this one job into two to be able to use that money towards some help for Jokić. Because we also saw that Brody is declining his vet minimum. Now, this could be just in negotiation tactic, or it could mean he's headed to another team. I honestly hope that he stays despite all of his faults. His energy he sparks amongst the roster is unmatched, and so I want him to stay a Nugget. I love seeing him and Jokić play, him and AG play, him and even Murray play, him and Peyton Watson. I think he has added so much to this team that the Nuggets have been lacking. And so I do want Brody to stay a Nugget. And it's something that the Nuggets just have lost since Bruce Brown, which actually might be a possibility. There have been rumors that Brucey B might be coming back to the Mile High. The thing with this is sometimes you remember your good times with your ex, and then when you get back together, the magic just isn't there anymore. Bruce has gotten older and suffered several injuries before or since leaving Denver. I do have hesitations if he comes back and plays that he won't be able to play to the standard that we want him to before he left. But there is some part of me that I have to be honest, geeks out a lot, very hard, hoping that he does come back because I would love to see Brucey as a Nugget again. I think we all would. Despite, our brain telling us like it's not going to be the same, our heart is just so much in it. We want Brucey back, and it would honestly be amazing. Even so much more amazing if we could have Brucey and Brody together on the Nuggets bench. I think that would be phenomenal, but we won't know right away. And the other part of this whole GM issue that does get me excited, I will say, is knowing that Jonathan Wallace is coming off the hot T-Wolves that had the Nuggets number all last season and for the majority of the season before that. I hope it helps us take them on and counter a lot of what the T-Wolves were able to do against the Nuggets successfully. But what about all of you? How do you all feel about this? How do you feel about the new GMs? The two in Ben Tenser and Jonathan Wallace being basically two in one GM. How do you feel about Brody waiving his vet minimum? And what about the possibility of Brucey B coming back? How do you feel about that? Let me know in the comments. and we'll dive into this in the next episode. And hopefully, I'll be back on soon, and we can hopefully there'll be more news to talk about with the Nuggets. And there was the big other league-wise news of Drew Holiday being traded over to the Trailblazers, and apparently he's not happy about that. But I do think that would be a good fit, and I hope that he stays with the Trailblazers and gives them something to work with, because he has been a very key aspect of a winning championship, both with the Bucks and the Celtics. So hopefully he's able to help out the Trailblazers, even though that really wouldn't be good for the Nuggets. But and then Kristaps Porzingis went to Atlanta, which I'm kind of excited to see that. I think Atlanta needs some kind of spark as well, though it all depends on how healthy Kristaps is. And I just love the fact that the Celtics are being dismantled. I really love that. However, I will say I will give a lot of credit to Celtics fans. They are much more graceful than the Thunder fans. So hats off to you, Celtics fans. I overestimated your sportsmanship. So cheers to you there. And that's pretty much all I got for this episode, though. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe, share it to your friends and family. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you later.